in by 2626679
Here, a proposal comprehensive long-range plan meeting that serves every retail core district marijuana issue came up. Start owning it. What was including not at that time, but we're bringing a comprehensive for then the intersection of any retail sale for this hearing, but now that hearing from the mission that this public hearing is still on the record. Versus the draft from the supposed to be and I'm here thank you.
forward will continue October 20.
Yes, one thing was you damage for home enjoy the loan passment 25-26, which is following in the event must apply for at least 20 and be for the the city shall be responsible for making sure that the mayor and board of aldermen about the event
Item is 12, comments.
Know how much time that we would want to spend on this one. So that you don't read, because I found a lot of information. Um,
See on the be able to see that. Then that I already here and when no not use this word that was the public hearing we would at use a minimum of yes.
That is not discuss about how much space to sell federal side, farm, because, you know, as long to set up somebody to take it over. When
We can't hear.
prior situations where tension bases have stormwater. If the homeowner does not, prior to selling off those houses, put that in the possession of a homeowners association, then there may be people in that neighborhood that are not assessed or can be assessed for, maintenance of it. So typically a homeowner is incentivized to get rid of that lot because the last thing he wants to do is sell all 8 lots and then have this as a separate lot because most homeowners are not going to accept maintenance responsibilities. So there is a natural tendency to get this in the homeowners association responsibility as quickly as possible, so that he's not ultimately stuck with a big piece of land that he really can't do anything with that has a detention basin on it.
So what you're saying, Chris, is each of these 8 lot owners will essentially own this whole detention pond area.
The way I understand
Okay.
from what the developer said, they'll set up a non-for-profit subdivision association that will have annual assessments or dues that are paid by each homeowner to someone who is the president of the association that'll hold the money. And then when maintenance is needed, they will expend the money. And if there's extraordinary maintenance that's required, I would imagine the covenants will have special assessments to take care of those.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a significant question when they purchase it. Are they required to disclose it? Yes, under Missouri law and a residential real estate contract, if that is set up, those assessments are part of the due diligence process required by state law to disclose in the purchase process.
When I ask about square footage, maybe I didn't get the question right. If 8 homes are planned for the land, how much square footage for each home do they?
Oh, the size of the house? I don't know. It'd be up to what the builder would be able to market and what the buyer would want. Ben's building some houses over there behind the cinema. He's doing some of those. He's did a few of them over there, Villages of Warrior Ridge, and he's done a few of them out at Meadows at Walnut Hollow. I know in the last couple of years, and he's got a various models out there to some small starters to some mid-grade homes. So I don't know how he would market these. I really don't.
What do you say?
Ben Beckemeyer?
Does he have experience setting up homeowners associations and common ground? Do you know?
I don't know completely. I know that he's going to be dealing with it at the behind the cinema because he purchased. If you recall, that cul-de-sac there had one triplex on it, and the rest of it. He purchased the rest of that in the common ground, and then we replatted that for single families instead of multifamily. And so there's still common ground there, and so he's going to have to be dealing with it there on that association. So that's all I know is from an experience standpoint.
Any other questions? The next item is the Meadows at Walnut
I have,
Hollow, I'm sorry.
I have the Meadows at Walnut Hollow plat floor, preliminary plat subdivision 81. And this was 31.2 acres application that was submitted. He's basically adding on to the subdivision that's currently there for 76 more single family lots. After reviewing the application, it has met all of our criteria for subdivision regulations. Art is here. Answer any questions that you
So I talked about this in the public hearing, and I don't know if George and Damon Heath are on Zoom or not.
We are.
They are. There they are. So they're the developers on this one. If you recall, they did finished up Plat 3, just south and west of here of Meadows at Walnut Hollow. And when they did that, they bought this piece from the bank as well. And we're restructuring this so that it all gravity sewers, so we don't have to do a lift station or do an off-site sewer. We structured it so that we have an adequate lot depth for the lots, and almost everything gravity sewers except for a few lots on the cul-de-sacs, and they'll have individual grinder pumps, so there won't be a big city pump station, sewer pump station for the city to maintain. The stubs of the streets are in the same general area as the previous plat, preliminary plat from years ago, so it still has the same connectivity that the fire department likes, as well as what the planning and zoning and the board of aldermen years ago approved and wanted to see. So that's what we have basically. We're bringing to you the whole pretty much layout on this side of the pipeline, and I got it laid out in about 4 phases, and depending on market conditions and constructability, we'll see how those phases come along. They might end up being smaller or larger, just depending on how things work out. And that's pretty basic. We do have a little common ground up front for the mailbox, common mailbox. We have a common ground for the stormwater detention basin on the northwest corner area. And I'll take any questions anybody may have.
Oh, these homeowners won't have individual mailboxes?
Correct.
Oh.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, I hate that for these people.
Well, a lot of people do, and developers hate it too. They would love for the post office to do
Oh, man.
individual delivery. But as you probably know, or if you don't know, the post office has changed some policies on new developments that they want common central mailbox units. so that they can faster deliver and get cheaper and more efficient. However, so this is an extension of one, but we went ahead and instead of fighting the post office on this one, we went ahead and planned this one out for that. Because the first part of this phase was done, and if you remember Plat 3, we had to work out some stuff there where there are 2 mailboxes on one post. So there's a lot of different ways, but the post office has a lot of control over it. Plus, I think we even have a city ordinance that we have to consider that now. And so we just went ahead and put it in play and have it prepared up front in the front part of this phase.
So we have 3 cul-de-sacs, it looks like. That's nice.
Yes. They are bigger than the previous one. So if you remember back pre-recession, there's a lot of codes. Obviously, we didn't have a lot of subdivisions through a large period of time there. But the fire department changed some of their stuff just because the national codes had changed and they've adopted. And so these cul-de-sacs are larger than most of the cul-de-sacs that were previously developed pre-recession.
Developed into a real nice subdivision. I drove through there the other day. And, well, it's very nice, I think.
Be nice if we can get the post office to give them a warrant and address.
That would be nice.
Are these streets intended to be dedicated to the city at some point in time? Or are they gonna
Yes,
remain
yeah, there'll be public city streets.
The
50
issue of the homeowners association relates to the detention pond and the, what I would call it, the northeast corner of the drawing. Is that right? The need for that? Because if the streets are dedicated, then you don't need a homeowners association for the streets. So then what do you need a
Correct.
homeowners association
For the common ground.
for? The common
Yes.
ground, which is the detention area.
Detention area and the common ground behind that, and the post office location would be common ground as well. And I believe there's probably in the record, there's a email from the Heaths on talking about the homeowner association. Because that was discussed at the planning and zoning, so we got a response on that as well.
Art, how do you see the phases in this developing? Because originally in this subdivision, we ran into issues with the way that the access street is
Correct.
laid out. So
Yeah.
how do you see the phases developing to tie into that existing street?
Sure. So I'll go up to the screen and hopefully I can see it on the screen here. My copy's pretty small, but I'll try to. First phase would be over in this area here, okay, which would connect up to these streets here, as well as give us access to build the stormwater detention pond, because it's in the lower part of the property. Then we'd have another phase that could be the very north part. Then I got a phase that can come in and do this street here. And I got a phase that can do this street here. So the sewer gravity's from the top down over to here. So that's why we kind of got to start in this area. But once we start in this area, we could shift over and do this because of access, or we could shift over and do this because of access. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 points of access this time. So we have a lot of different varieties of how we could do it.
Great.
Any other questions for Bart? Bart,
Thank you.
thank you. Ed Boozer Cruz, Maintenance and Grounds Director.
Evening, board. You have my monthly maintenance report. I don't know if you have any questions.
I only have one question, Brad. We had talked about the, I think, 6 dead trees that are at the city cemetery.
Yeah, that'd be done this winter sometime. Be probably late fall, early spring. summer, but we got other stuff a little more pressing, so we got to get it done first.
Okay.
All right. At all? Anything else?
Questions for Brad?
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Okay, Mike Cross, Building Commissioner.
Good evening, Board. You have my monthly report.
Mike, I'm so disappointed. I talked to the builder that's putting up the 2 new houses on my street, and he tells me now that the basements are all dug, everything's coming to a screeching halt. You know what I'm
Well,
talking
I don't
about?
think it's good.
Drive.
I don't think it'll slow down that much. We're at 63 homes already this month. And I just issued 10 more building permits for new residents. So that takes us to 73.
Well, I hope they start building. He told me when 2x4s went to $12 a piece, he was done. He said, I've got to wait till maybe spring before I start on this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was looking forward to seeing 2 new homes go up on my street, but it's not going to happen, I guess, not anytime soon till things lighten up a little bit.
Well, hopefully the price of lumber will start coming down.
I hope so. We can get some projects moving here.
Maybe that'll happen after the election.
Don't
Okay.
know.
Any other questions for Mike?
No.
Next, we've got Larry Elder, Chief of Police.
Good evening. I've just got one item for you tonight, and that's my monthly report.
The officers that sat in the cars, I guess, watching traffic on Main Street from the 4-way out to the interstate, that going well?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
They sat there in their patrol car, I assume, watching traffic. They're on a rotating schedule.
If they are, they're just doing reports or something else to stay visible. They're not actually conducting directed traffic right there that I know of. They pretty much have to stay out of the station now due to our COVID restrictions. So they park in a visible location and get their reports done on their computers.
On your report, what does TDO stand for?
Traffic duty officer.
Okay.
Larry, I have one question. Why do you think the number of total calls are down this year compared to last year?
For most of the year, we've had somewhat of a moratorium on self-initiated activity to keep our possible exposure to COVID down to a minimum. So they've limited their a lot of their proactive activity that's going to bring them in close contact with people. So that's come down. When this blows over, it'll go back up to normal levels.
Okay, thank you.
Our next item is the bills to ordinance. First one is bill number 50-220, the ordinance amending section 405-195, subsection 4A, retail corridor design overlay district by adding 50% of the floor area of any use dedicated to retail sales. Accept that.
So moved.
Second.
Bill number 50-2020, an ordinance amending section 405.195 subsection 4A retail corridor design overlay district by adding 50% of the floor area of any use dedicated to retail sales.
Call for second reading.
Second.
Bill number 50-2020, an ordinance amending section 405.195 subsection 4A retail corridor design overlay district by adding 50% of the floor area of any use dedicated to retail sales. Alderman Delloy,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Crump,
Yes.
Alderman Dyer,
Yes.
Alderman Ock,
Yes.
Alderman Miller.
Yes. Bill number 51-220, 2020. An ordinance accepting preliminary plat for Hawthorne Hollow by the city of Warrenton, Missouri.
Call for first reading.
Second.
Bill number 51-2020, an ordinance accepting preliminary plat for Hawthorne Hollow by the city of Warrenton, Missouri.
I made a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Bill number 51-2020, an ordinance accepting the preliminary plat for Hawthorne Hollow by the city of Warrenton, Missouri.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Delloy,
Yes.
oh, sorry. Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Crump,
Yes.
Alderman Dyer,
Yes.
Alderman Ock,
Yes.
Alderman Miller.
Yes.
Call for second and final reading.
Bill number 51-20, an ordinance accepting the preliminary plat for Hawthorne Hollow by the city of Warrenton, Missouri.
The next one is bill number
Wait, we
You
can
didn't
have
vote
roll
on the
call.
second. Let's vote on the second one. Call for a vote. Roll call.
Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Clark,
Yes.
Alderman Dyer,
Yes.
Alderman Ock,
Yes.
Alderman Miller,
Yes.
Alderman Delloy.
Yes.
Pass 6-0. Now we go to bill number 52-2020, ordinance accepting preliminary plat of Meadows at Walnut Hollow, plat 4 by the city of Warrenton, Missouri.
Call for first reading.
Second.
Bill number 52-20, an ordinance accepting the preliminary plat, the Meadows at Walnut Hollow, plat 4 by the city of Warrenton, Missouri.
Accept the second read.
No, roll call.
Alderman Crump,
Yes.
Alderman Dyer,
Yes.
Alderman Ock,
Yes.
Alderman Miller,
Yes.
Alderman Delloy,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Call for second reading.
Second.
Bill number 52-20, an ordinance accepting the preliminary plat, the Meadows at Walnut Hollow, plat 4 by the city of Warrenton, Missouri.
Call vote.
Alderman Dyer,
Yes.
Alderman Ock,
Yes.
Alderman Miller,
Yes.
Alderman Delloy,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Okay, the next one is bill number 53-2020, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to sign the intergovernmental cooperative agreement with Warren County for the communications project.
Call for first reading.
Second.
Bill number 53-20, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to sign the intergovernmental cooperative agreement with the Warren County for the communications project.
You didn't do it first vote.
We got to vote first.
Alderman Dyer,
Yes.
Alderman Ock,
No.
Alderman Miller,
Yes.
Alderman Deloy,
No.
Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Make a motion to call for a second reading.
Second.
Bill number 53-2020, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to sign the intergovernmental cooperative agreement with Warren County for the communications project.
I'll vote
Alderman Ock,
No.
Alderman Miller,
yes.
Alderman Deloy,
No.
Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Crump,
Yes.
Alderman Dyer.
Yes.
Okay, we'll have the motion to end the regular session of the Board of Aldermen and go into executive session.
Moved.
Personnel and legal counsel.
Yeah. Personnel and the.
And real estate.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Second, who?
I'll second that motion.
I'll vote
Alderman Miller,
yes.
Alderman Deloy,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Crump,
Yes.
Alderman Dyer,
Yes.
Alderman Ock.
Yes.
Adjourn.